You are about to see a 24-hour ultra-marathon. On a quarter-mile track, the runners run as many laps as they can. In a 24-hour race, participants try to pace themselves to run fast enough to do their best, and yet not so fast that they are forced to stop and lose precious time while recovering. Many participants run over 100 miles, and the national record at the time of filming was just over 155 miles. Runners are free to go at any speed they like, and each of their laps is recorded by a counter. They may stop whenever they like to eat, drink, or rest. Doctors and nurses are available around the clock. At the end of the 24 hours, the runner with the most mileage wins. Man has always been a runner. An unknown Greek warrior ran in full armor from Marathon to Athens, bringing news of his people's victory over the Persians. 2,500 years later, his run became the basis for the modern 26.2-mile marathon. Beyond the marathon lies the realm of ultra-distance running, a world of its own, with its own code of honor, its own sense of time. It has been a testing ground for the limits of human capacities. Americans made long-distance running and walking into a very popular sport towards the end of the 19th century. Crowds of over 15,000 people gathered at Madison Square Garden in New York City to bet big money and exhort the runners on to the finish of 6-day races. Pioneers like Edward Payson Weston and Daniel O'Leary walked over 100 miles in 24 hours and attracted the attention of a rich Englishman, Sir John Astley. Astley sponsored a series of races in the United States and England for the Astley Belt, made of solid silver and gold, bearing the title Long Distance Champion of the World. A driving force behind contemporary ultramarathoning has been the quiet, self-effacing figure of Ted Corbett. Over the 30-odd years of his running career, Ted continued to surpass his previous achievements and set numerous American long-distance records. During heavy training periods, Ted ran 35 miles a day to and from work and logged 1,000 miles a month. Corbett made the U.S. Olympic team in 1952 and competed against the legendary Czech Emil Zatopek in the marathon. Ted is also an organizer. The standards he set for course measurement were instrumental in making long-distance road racing into a popular sport. Having completed 198 marathons, Corbett has consistently gone beyond what others thought possible in running. In today's world of ultra running, Sri Chinmoy and his marathon team play an important role. Sri Chinmoy, who now lives in New York City, was a decathlon champion as a youth in his native India. He continues to be an avid sprinter and marathon runner. He believes that the outer running is a perfect metaphor for man's inner race toward the goal of self-discovery. He recommends running for his meditation students as a way to develop their inner capacities. The race you are about to see is one of over 500 races sponsored annually by the Sri Chinmoy Marathon team worldwide. These races are well known for their good organization and supportive atmosphere. In ultramarathons, as the runners become very tired and require much care, the team's enthusiasm and experience serve the runners on many levels, helping them to reach their maximum potential. Ultramarathon runners are dedicated to the ideal of self-transcendence, the concept that each person can increase their capacities and go beyond what they perceive to be their limits. Sri Chinmoy states, "Run and become. Become and run."
24-hour race takes a great deal of effort to set up, but right now we're doing the final stages, hurry-scurry, as we always are, trying to prepare for tomorrow's start. For 24 hours, the runners will go and cover as much distance as they possibly can. Ultra-distance runners are very unique. They're explorers. They have learned that they really, truly do not know their limits, and they're testing themselves. Self-transcendence is just that, knowing that we do not know our limits. Self-transcendence is just trying to see how far you can go, and each time going a little bit farther, a little bit farther. These are the things that they feel are important in life, to see what they're made of, to see the joy of going 150 miles in 24 hours. To complete that distance and to know you did it can give a person an incredible amount of confidence. So in the race we have Kahit Eater, a good friend of ours. He's the North American record holder in the 24-hour event. We have Stu Middleman, who is a great and neat surprise. He is the national champion in the 100-miler. This will be his first 24-hour race, but I think he'll do well.
We have only 20 minutes. Yeah.
Jim Roser is a veteran runner. He has incredible endurance and experience. We have Sue Medaglia. Sue is the North American record holder for the 24-hour for women. These are the top runners. We also have Ted Corbett, who will start the race. He's the father of ultra-distance running. A lot of his records still stand.
My name's Jonathan.
Sri Chinmoy is a meditation teacher who combines physical fitness with the inner life. This race is a service to the community offered by his students.
We'd like to start just for a minute or so with a short meditation before the race begins.
Self-transcendence, in my mind, can be applied anytime. It simply means getting to know yourself. Be willing to reach out extend yourself, to see what you're capable of doing. Self-transcendence is the discovery of what's beyond the physical. You can find infinite sources of energy, inspiration, joy, courage, and I'll say courage twice.
Self-transcendence means man's conscious awareness of perfection. Man is running after happiness. He thinks that he can be happy only by defeating others, by staying at least one step ahead of others. He succeeds in his attempts to defeat others, but his happiness does not last more than 5 minutes. He has defeated one or two individuals in his life's competition, but there are many who have badly defeated him. So his pride is totally smashed. He is longing for happiness, and this happiness comes only when he transcends his own capacities.
Yes, I think I'm sort of hooked on a challenge. I like the challenge. Like every other thing in life too. If you compete and compare with other people, you're focusing on other things and never comes out right, you know, whatever the result. Because you forget you need yourself. To compare with other people, it's ridiculous, you know. You've got your own potential nobody else has.
Great, John. Excellent, though. Kim, you're getting close to your 50K. Go. A couple more miles. Go, Stu.
Is that your dinner, Karen? I was wearing the other orthotics. No, Stenko, you know. And that was too soft, I think. So I changed to this one.
The harder
Dr. Weizenfeld. Yeah, this is regular. It gives me more support. Otherwise, flux arch will act up.
A lot of times I have to say to myself, like, am I in pain or fatigue? And most of the time it's just reminding myself that I am in fatigue and not in pain. And when I am in pain, I kind of visualize just letting go of it. I let it go right into the ground because I know the ground can handle it. I don't have to hold on to it.
Italian style, but I try to eat best I can. Italians usually they turn around the spoon and eat. We Turks just eat.
We learn that at different times during the run, you'll become tired, but after you've done one or two of them, you realize that if you just keep sort of working through that tiredness, you become strong again. It's like the mind or the body's saying, you can't go on anymore. But if you just keep going on, it kind of gives up and says, okay, if you want to go on, go on. You learn that if you can stay on the downs, that the ups will come again. In everyday life, obviously things will go wrong in your life, and if you sort of apply the same philosophy, if you feel that if you just keep going on, it'll come good again. As long as you can keep going through the bad spells, the good spells will always come back. And maybe as you get stronger and you learn more about it, the good spells come back a lot quicker.
Un peu de sucre, un peu, parce que j'aime beaucoup des sweets. Okay, another treat for
nauseated all evening. I ate too many donuts, 7 donuts, and it upset my stomach, and I just can't shake it off. I took all kind of Tums, and yeah, I left here. My goal is 121 miles. I know I'll never win these races against these young people, but I always have a chance to do well in my age group. And you keep trying to improve, and you want to try. I believe you should try to find out what your best is, and that's my goal. And it's a great sense of satisfaction when you reach that.
Exactly the problems that one encounters in a 24-hour run. Stu, who's the national record holder 100 mile, and Kahit holds the North American record in the 24-hour run. And we're pacing each other to actually North American record time in the beginning. Then actually paced each other out of the championship here, and both of them ended up pulling up short and retiring tonight.
I guess it's sort of you have a little tiny pebble in your shoe. It doesn't hurt that much, but over a long period of time it starts to really ache and itch you.
Meanwhile, Jim Roser, who has run in a number of 24-hour runs, has just from sheer persistence moved up past everyone and into first place.
You keep improving. I'm 51 years old, and I can do things now that I couldn't do when I was in the 40s.
In the women, Sue Medaglia, who is ranked the North American champion in this event, she's now solidly in first place and has chances of breaking her own North American record.
Regardless what it appears, look beyond the first layer of fatigue. You never know what you got. Don't judge anything from appearance. That's the greatest lesson.
This woman, Kanchan from Canada, has never run a 24-hour race before, and she's an unexpected second place winner here.
I had one thought I kept on thinking about. This challenges egotism. It destroyed any sense of egotism I had about myself as a runner, as a person. to deal with one's ego and one's presentation of self, and to be concerned with that and vanity, would destroy this. And if there's one thing I learned out of this, it was the dangers of egotism and vanity. It wasn't until I just resigned myself to the fact that I wanted to be here, I just wanted to be part of what was happening, I'm not concerned about winning the thing or looking good, that I started to enjoy it. I still enjoy it. I learned a lot.
In the inner world, he has capacities. In the outer world, also he has capacities. In his inner life, he is struggling to conquer his fear, doubt, anxiety, worries, and so forth. In his outer life, he is trying to increase his perseverance, his patience, his power of forgiveness, and so forth. If he transcends his capacities, even by affection, for a fleeting second, if he's ahead of his own timing, or just by 1 foot if he's ahead of his previous achievement, he gets tremendous joy.
Right. How's it feel, fantastic.
And this joy gives him extra enthusiasm, extra determination to go 1 step forward and 1 step deep within. And if he finds the answer here in his own life, in his own approach to the truth which he embodies. Not by competing with others, but by competing with himself.
Today, I just followed my inner pushing, do your best. And that's what I did. If you are limited, there's no hope. So I teach myself that's not the way to look at things. Otherwise, there won't be any world record or miraculous things. I think every one of us believe in limitlessness. That's why miracles happen.
Okay, 30 seconds.
When you're 50, you don't expect to win too many races, I'll tell you. Really. Especially when you have competition like we have here today. All this encouragement really helps, I'll tell you. It's unbelievable how they help you out.
Nisquamicut Beach, Rhode Island, starting point of the annual Sri Chinmoy Triathlon, a race which begins with a 1.5-mile swim in the Atlantic, followed by a 60-mile bike ride, and then a 15-mile run.
Triathlons, or I think any sporting event, is like an ode to life because you really don't know how they're going to end. And I think that's what the excitement of them is. You just don't know if you're going to make it this time, and it's like, please, if I make it this time, then I really will train next time.
This will be Kay Tucker's 7th triathlon. Mark McIntyre, last year's winner, is from Greenwich, Connecticut.
What do you train, like a day, would you say?
As much as I can.
Like 4 or 5 hours?
8 hours a day, average.
And every day you do all 3 sports, or?
Yeah, I try and do all 3. But it's very hard because there's things that come up. You gotta make a you gotta go to the dentist's office. You have to drive, something came up and your aunt is sick and you gotta go visit her, and your training gets all thrown around.
Claire McRae, the first woman last year, is from Spencer, Massachusetts.
That attitude I'm trying to develop in all phases